Okay, so for this discussion board, we're to answer the questions, the 5 questions that were at the end of the intentional teacher. Um, let's see, the bottom of page 64. For question number 1, it asks, why is Bill Stepien's instructional approach developmentally appropriate for middle school students and not developmentally appropriate for elementary school students? The way I answer this, that, well, on page 52, the text, it was under the heading of, what is it, Piaget's strategies for thinking, or I'm sorry, Piaget's stages of personal and moral development. It said that young children are more rigid in their views of right or wrong, that um, more so than older children and adults tend to be with. Um, when elementary students, with elementary students, everything is pretty much cut and dried. With middle schoolers, they have the ability to think more for themselves. They're able to read more and think out of the box. Younger children really don't have the brain development yet that will allow them to brainstorm solutions um, in what he called an ill-structured problem. Question number 2. Um, scroll down here so I can read the question. It says, how does Bill seeking to show that he understands his students' readiness to engage in reflectivity? In his discussion, he asked the students questions. He wants them to engage more of their higher order thinking skills. Their responses would let him know if the students were forming what he called hunches. Um, by asking the right questions, that'll help lead them to the brainstorming part of the problem solving in order to get the best possible solution. Number 3, what does the teacher do that shows this understanding? What does the teacher do that shows his understanding of students' stage of moral development? He has the students thinking about ways to define the problem after they collect information from asking the questions based on their hunches that they made about the problem. Looking at that diagram he had written on the whiteboard, um, that was a very, very good example. I mean, I copied it, I wrote it down for me to use in the future. But that gave a really good, diagram he had on there for solving problems, for the problem solving process. The hunches, the collecting the information, analyzing it, thinking about it, and then brainstorming to develop the best possible solutions to the problem. And so by each of the students being able to do that, by him asking the right questions and then being able to give him feedback or the right hunches that they should have had, to me would have let him know that they were ready or that they had a good understanding of what moral development was, or where their stage of moral development lies. Number 4, why did Bill Stipien likely choose the story of Charles and Flora in the barn? How does the use of this story affect students' moral reasoning? I figured he chose it, because it has some history in it, of course, that being the number one thing, and him being a history teacher. But I think he also, there was a moral dilemma to the story, and I think he wanted the students, to really think about this problem and put themselves in the shoes of the characters in the book, uh, in order to reason out the problem, and to come up with the best possible solution, by putting themselves in, by being able to relate to the characters in the story. Number 5, why does Bill Stipien do? What does Bill Stipien do that supports student development of positive peer relationships and show his understanding of the students' increasing dependence on peers. At the end of the video, it showed him having the students work together. They were all collaborating together on their ideas, brainstorming together. They were sitting around a table, or at their desk. Actually, I saw three have their desk together, grouped, having a discussion. There was a student writing on the whiteboard, coming together. I think the two charts was what they were filling out. Just working together to brainstorm their different ideas and getting feedback off of each other. Okay, so this is my discussion board video submission. Let's see about uploading this to YouTube so you all can watch it and see what we can do.